God did not give us a spirit of fear. He has given us a spirit of power, love, and self control. 2 Timothy 1 and 7. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's the Baddie, and I'm going to be talking about things that are challenging for me as a person who has alopecia and who are bald. And I'm going to be talking about things that kind of just in a way, how can I explain it? It's just hard, okay? I don't know how to dress it up, make it cute, but it's just hard for me. So my disclaimer is these things may not, be challenging for you, or they could be challenging for you, and I can give you some tips on how to do them. Or you probably don't have alopecia, and these things are just hard for you as a person who may be natural or something. So yes, I'm going to give you some tips. So the first thing that is really challenging for me as a person who is bald is exercising. Like, exercising can be hard for anyone, but like when you're bald or when you have alopecia, you kind of got to put on like scarves and hats and stuff like that to keep, your bald spots from showing on your edges or whatever. Or in my case, like sometimes I go walking outside bald, like, without a head covering on. And that, in a sense, it just, how can I say, it's hurt because the sun is so hot. The sun is like, beaming like right on top of my little head. So like, I be feeling like my little milk dud, I call my bald head my little milk dud. I be feeling like my little milk dud is like melting. So like exercising to me outside, outdoors while the sun is out also can be a challenge for me. Like even exercising indoors, like that's a challenge too, because once I start sweating, all of that sweat and perspiration comes from off the top of my head, like gleaming down like a waterfall to like on my face and in my eyes. And if like you have hair, you could just easily like, do something like this and the sweat will kind of like go away from your face. With me, I got sweat on from my head coming down to my face, and it's just like, ugh, it's nasty. Another thing you can probably try to do, but it worked for me a little bit, but when I got like when I came like all the way bald, it kind of stopped working for me. Scarves and hats. So like I have like the insulated hats, like how you go to the like Foot Locker or something like that, get like a fitted cap or something like that. That used to work for me. Thin hats, with like little thin material works. Also scarves, like little cloth scarves or whatever. I used to get the scarves from like Ross or Marshalls or whatever, and like wrap them up all the way and like with a bow on top, like a turban. That works for me as well. Another thing that comes challenging for me is meeting new people or even dating. Like that's kind of hard for me. Like dating, not so much because I'm not worried about that, but like meeting new people who never seen me before and they say, "Nice to meet you," and they buck their eyes like wow. I'm like, it's kind of like that awkward pause in between "nice to meet you" and the shaking the hand process. Like that for me is like, oh my God. Like, because like they're looking at me like startled and appalled, and I'm looking at them like, why are you staring at me? So like that right there is just kind of like awkward, And if I don't know if anybody who has alopecia or any kind of, awkward physical, like facial feature, like you might have a big nose, you might got big lips or anything like that. So if you meet somebody who doesn't look like you, I'm gonna keep it at that, and they see you bald, it's like, or even with your big facial feature, it's like that awkward silence in between, like, handshaking and meeting somebody. So it's just like, yeah, that's hard. Dating for me, bald is like, everybody finds it like so mysterious or like so cool that like, I'm walking around with a bald head and I'm just free about it. I'm looking like, y'all, it's hot. So I'm sweating. I'm got to carry an extra towel in my purse because like, my bald head sweating outside because it's mid-June and, it's giving me Houston humid hot vibes. So like, I got to walk around with like an extra towel in my purse to wipe off my sweat if I get too hot. But people who like, when I meet people new, like as far as like of the male species, they're like, oh, that's tight. That's for real. Like, that's dope. I'm looking like, I'm so hot, But it's like, it's kind of awkward. Then the forbidden question comes up, why are you bald? And it's like, you have to kind of like go through it again and telling people why you're bald. And it kind of reopens up that little wound you have. So it's like, in that kind of sense, it's kind of challenging for me. Might not be challenging for you. You might like talking about, I have this and I have that. But for me, I'm like, I don't want to talk about that right now. It's too early. So that's a challenging thing for me. I don't know about you, but the kind of way I cope with it or deal with it per se, I just be like, well, I'm bald. Like, this is me. You just got to deal with me because I'm bald. So like, yeah, that's one of the things that kind of awkward. What else is challenging for me? Dancing, even dancing. Like when I would be like dancing when I was younger with alopecia, when I had hair per se, when I was like in my high school years, that was hard for me too. Like when I did cheer, it wasn't as bad because my mom was able to kind of camouflage it because we wore ponytails all the time. And the places I had alopecia when I was like in middle school or elementary school was in the middle of my head. It was like in toward the soft spot, if you will. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the correct term for it. But like the soft spot in the middle of my head, that's where I had like, little bald, small patches. But I still had edges. I still had, little lengths in my hair. So she was able to like mold my hair a certain way so my ponytail could look, full. So I didn't have problems with alopecia as far as like, covering it up that much in middle school and elementary school because it wasn't as bad yet. Because it was when I got to high school and my hair started getting really, really, really short. And like for me, when I was in high school, I did dance. I did dance and cheer, but I didn't do as much cheer. So with dance, you wear all these kind of different hairstyles. And I was on the drill team at a black school. So we had our extensions in. We might have a bun the next week. So we had so many different, hairstyles. So for me, it was like hard. Like, how can I camouflage this bald spot over here? Or how can I camouflage this bald spot in the middle of my head? Like, it was so hard for me to like, get through that. And just by and large, thinking that somebody can see my big bald spot in the middle of my head or my big bald spot on the side of my head while I'm doing a hair snap or even a trick on the field or a combination dancing on the field. Like, that was hard for me. Like, I was so paranoid sometimes. Like, I would be thinking more about somebody seeing my bald spots than me executing a routine. And in the long run, that kind of hurt me because I wasn't as focused as I could be because I was really and truly so worried about that. And even as I got to college or whatever, and I was doing collegiate dancing, it still weighed on me. Like, cause like as the older I got, the shorter my hair was getting. So I really and truthfully, I was kind of nervous because when you're doing collegiate dancing, it's a lot of people at those games. So you really got to be on your stuff. And it's people like with their cameras like right here in your face, always snapping a picture of you. So it made me worry like, dang, in my picture, can they see my bald spot? Like, do my hair look right in my picture? Because every time you take a picture, when you're dancing, you can't look in the camera and like, oh, let me see your phone so I can make sure how I look. It's not like that. It's kind of like on a dime, snap a picture. So for me, I really was like, some of those times in college dancing, I was kind of paranoid. I was really scared of how I looked. So as a result, I really didn't capture the moment like I wanted to. Like, I really didn't capture like, myself in the act of dancing or, take a lot of action shots or even just take a lot of still pictures. I really didn't do that because I was so scared. That's about it. If you have any questions on like, how can I, walk around every day with, alopecia, or how can I walk around and not, be so scared? I can't explain how you feel. I can sympathize with how you feel because I have it still. I've had it for a long time. So for me, it's like, it's hard, sometimes when I do walk in certain areas, it makes you go, wow, like it's another stepping stone. Like, even when I do walk, like, even sometimes going into a large crowd, you know, even at the grocery store, I'm okay sometimes, but it's when I go to the checkout line, it's like a big crowd of people, and they sitting there looking at me like, you know, with those side eyes. That kind of gets to me sometimes. So I have to kind of just be bold and be who I am and be my own kind of beautiful and be confident in how I look. And sometimes that weighs on me because I'm like, why are they staring at me? Like, you know, sometimes you have that good attention, sometimes you got that bad attention, and it's like, whoa. So yeah, if you got, you know, anything that's troubling you, or you just feel like, you know, dang, how do I cope with this? Like, how do I walk around and not let this be a burden on me and not weigh on me? Like, how do I walk around and be the victor and not the victim? I walked around a long time, y'all, being the victim, like hiding behind scars, hiding behind people, not going in public, like, you know, because I was so scared, like, finding, like if my hair wasn't done, I wasn't about to walk in public, you know, looking like how I was looking. If I didn't have some kind of cover up on my head, I wasn't going in public. So I can sympathize with you, woman or male, who may have alopecia. You know, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I will gladly help you. If you want to, you know, see how I day to day, not so much deal with it, become one with my alopecia, follow me on Instagram at Baddie with the A. So THA bald Baddie, Baddie with 2 D's. If you found my content, my video interesting, or you want to, you know, see more of me, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications because it's another video coming. See ya.